Hello, lost souls. My name is Nyla, and I will be your guide through the abyss. I don't really have any deep messages, and I'm not really feeling like going into the cards. But there is a topic that I do want to touch on, since I am well, I am sometimes a casual gamer, right? And what I've noticed, in the in the gamer community lately that has kind of, you know, turned me off of being around that side of YouTube in general. Um, and people do who do game reviews and that type of thing is that a lot of these channels have turned into rage bait channels. They create content specifically to make other people rage about things that are insignificant. But in particular, the most popular topic is, gay, bi, trans representation in video games itself. Uh, and you have a lot of these channels who, they if they see any tiny hint of something that might be related to, LGBT content, they go off the walls, you know. Even in, like first-person shooter games, if there's custom skins, or for the guns, that might have a trans flag on it, it's woke, it's all woke, and it's the system trying to push an agenda, rather than, just adding something in that people in the minority, might enjoy having for their custom builds, right? And that's been going on in the gamer space for a very long time. All the way back in, all the way back since, at least from what I can remember, at least 2019, maybe 2018 even. And it's really ridiculous. I know there was a game released recently. I think it was a Dragon Age game that people were, going absolutely berserk over. These cutscenes in the game that are related to the LGBT. But the cutscenes that are referenced are all side quests. It's not something that you have to go do in the game in order to advance the story. But since their favorite YouTubers are, raging about this, they assume that it is a mandatory part of the game. When it isn't, it's just world building. And then you get the arguments that they don't want, realism in their games. They're, in their fantasy games, they're trying to get away from reality, not have it shoved in their face. But again, as I said before, these cutscenes are in side quests. They're not, they're not mandatory at all. And that's the type of thing you see with these rage bait channels all the time. They will make these videos in such a way that it seems like these types of things are, a volatile or, mandatory part of this game when they're not. You know, especially with first-person shooters, the skins and stuff. You don't have to buy that stuff. You don't have to put it on. You don't even have to look at it. You know, you can skip right past it if you're going to look for skins and stuff on first-person shooters, FPS games. So I don't know what people are complaining about with that. I don't see the issue there. The other thing you see with these rage bait channels is that they talk about how terrible these games are, or how terrible they're designed, how terribly they are designed, how terrible the stories are, you know. And from what I've seen of some of the scenes in this Dragon Age game, the story element is not really that bad. It's not. I mean, it's mediocre, definitely, but it's engaging enough to keep you entertained. And that's the way it is with a lot of games. You know, not every game that comes out is going to be, you know, a masterpiece. You know, when it comes to video games and movies in general, there are going to be more mediocre games and movies that come out than there will be really, really good games and really, really good movies. And, you know, and this topic bleeds over into movies as well. You know, representation within movies has exploded in the these rage bait channels on YouTube as well. But if you go back far enough, you know, you will see lesbian movies from way back in the early 2000s. And so these things have been around for a long time. The thing is, we're seeing it more and more because in our society, representation for the LGBT community is ramping up. It's being brought into the light more and more, and so we're seeing more of these things. We're seeing more of more characters in video games and more characters in movies who are you know, in the LGBT community. We're seeing more stories surrounding these LGBT characters and whatnot. And so these rage bait channels have picked up on this, and they've picked up on, you know, how easy it is to make content on this stuff, yelling and complaining about the same, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 games that have come out in the past year, 2, maybe 3 years, and, you know, constantly rag on these games and get hundreds of thousands of views on their channel. And they're, you know, and that's what they do. You know, they don't talk about anything else. That's their entire channel. They're there to sell you rage. They're there to make you think that the government, the gaming companies, the movie producers in Hollywood and, you know, Disney and whatnot are trying to, oh, what are they calling it? What were they calling it? They're trying to wokeify all of your all of your entertainment. And that's simply not the case. In fact, most of these claims, if you go and watch these, well, about movies in general, if you go and watch these movies, you'll find out that that the movies that they're complaining about, they haven't even watched them. Most of the time, they've only watched the trailer and they saw something they didn't like, and they ran over and made a quick video, raging over it, and then you go and watch the movie and you find out, the thing that they're raging about is out of context, and that's not really what that scene is about. And that happens with, lots and lots of movies recently. Too many of these critic channels have turned into, outrage merchants. And that's what they do. I think it's sad to see people fall into this trap, because it really is just one big monetization scam from these creators. It's easy for them, and they get to take your money. They get to take your time and your money on because they make it so easy to rage about all of this stuff by really what they're doing is gaslighting you into believing things that are not 100% accurate. In fact, they're probably most of the videos they put out are probably about 30 or 40% accurate. The rest of it is all guesswork, because the majority of the time the only thing that they've seen are the trailers, and they never actually go and watch the full movie in the theaters, and they're probably not going to. And so that's what you get, 40% accuracy from, rage bait. So yeah, it's a little bit pathetic and petty, but I'm not hating on these channel creators. They've figured out how to make easy money off of these people who don't know any better and aren't gonna go do the research to find out the truth. So they're doing what they're doing because it pays the bills for them. So I'm not hating on them, but it is disheartening, and it is really disappointing to see so many people be so gullible as to fall for these rage bait channels. When all it would take is 5 minutes on Google to go and research these movies, or an hour at the movie theater or online, on Amazon or whatever movie channel, movie what are they called? Streaming service that you're using, or they're using. It doesn't take it doesn't take very long to figure out that these people are full of it. But people these days are so desperate to find something to hate and to latch on to because they don't have anything else going on in their life. And so they need something to grasp. Sorry. My words are, not coming out the way I want them to. Um, as I said in previous videos, I'm not used to speaking. I'm used to being very quiet and listening. So, if my words do, if I do stumble over my words, uh, I do apologize for that. Um, I hope to get better over time. I hope to get better. And I do believe that making these videos is helping me to become better at speaking. So anyway, as I was saying, what was I saying? Uh, hmm. Well, I've lost my train of thought. Oh man. I guess we'll just move on from that. But the whole thing, oh right, I was talking about, how easy it is for, people to go and, to do the research, to do, go and play that video game or watch somebody play it online, and and the fact that these people are unwilling to do that because they've heard some random person online tell them that, it's woke garbage without having ever gone and seen it, without ever, taking the time to watch it and find out for themselves. How gullible can you be? I think that's one of the major issues with our country right now. Too many people are unwilling to actually do research, to actually go and, search for the truth. And that's why we're in the situation that we're in, especially with the LGBT community. There are too many people in religion who are unwilling to go and do their research, to go and communicate and try to understand the people in the LGBT community and why they feel the way that they feel, and really just to get to know them personally, because they've been brainwashed into their particular type of Christianity or, whatever religion it is that's telling them, well, it's not really their religion that's telling them, it's not even the Bible that's telling them, it's their preacher that's telling them these things. It's their preacher that's bringing politics into the church. And they're being brainwashed by their preachers, so that that preacher can make a whole lot of money off of these people. And that's basically what it is. It's a get-rich-quick scheme with a lot of these fundamental Christian religions. That's what it is. Sadly. I've come to that realization myself, years ago. Before, before I came back to spirituality, during a time where, I went into this atheistic state of mind where I was watching a lot of, atheist content and really, was just very, very angry with the fact that I was lied to. and with the fact that I was, you know, brainwashed into these ideas, into these into this faith stuff, you know, that turned out not to be truth. Especially things like hell and the devil and all of that stuff. You know, finding out that that stuff is all one big lie is just infuriating for someone who is who was young like myself. And so I took it, and so I deep dove into these atheist communities, and I would debate. What I was really doing is, uh, arguing and calling these Christians, fundamentalist Christians, idiots. It's really what I was doing. I was just getting into arguments to call them stupid. And it wasn't very oh, what's the word I'm trying to think of? It wasn't very helpful. It wasn't very helpful. Yeah. It wasn't helpful for me, and it wasn't helpful for them. They weren't gonna believe what I was going to say, and I wasn't gonna believe what they were going to say. Would have been better for me to have just not said anything, but, when you're deconstructing religion, it's one of those things where if you hold on to the feelings, they're going to build up inside you and inevitably cause you to do something or say something that you're going to regret. So I'm not mad or disappointed in myself for doing what I did. I think it was necessary for me to have done what I did in order for me to understand that what I did was pointless. And also for me to vent my frustrations in a way that was not going to cause harm to myself or to anyone else. So yeah. Yeah. I think that's gonna wrap up this video for today. Bit of a different type of video. I just really felt like, jumping on this topic today because it's been on my mind. And because I think the LGBT community, me being transgender myself, deserves to be represented in video games and in movies, and not be, constantly trashed by these rage bait channels who are only in it because they know they can make really easy money off of it. They can make really easy money off of gullible people who are not going to go and do their research at all. And they're going to keep coming back video after video after video, regardless of what anyone tells them, But yeah, I do believe that we deserve our spotlight in video games. And I don't think that anyone who wants to put LGBT representation in video games should be hounded for it. Regardless of whether the games are fantasy or realistic. I think, we should just, we should go back to actually, analyzing and, oh man, what's the word? Reviewing these games in a way that actually tells you how good the game is, in terms of playstyle, in terms of the story, in terms of, the actual game, not, based on whether or not it has LGBT representation in it. I don't think just because a game has that in it, it should be, considered amongst the other bad games. Yeah, there are just a lot of really mediocre games out there. And it is what it is. Not every game is going to be a banger. As they say. Not every game is going to, interest certain aspects of the gaming community the way that it will with other people. Certain games will resonate with certain gamers, and others won't. And we have to recognize that, even the games that we consider bad, somebody else out there might absolutely love that game, regardless of whether or not, it's the best visual or, movement style or whatever, Someone might still absolutely love that game. It might be their top-rated game. People are different. Everyone is different. We all have our own tastes. We all have our own opinions. We all have our own likes and dislikes. We all have our own personalities. And, judging a game just solely based on whether or not it has elements of the LGBT community within it is kind of stupid. It's really just stupid. It's not gonna help you, it's not gonna help other people. It's just petty bullshit. That's what it is. So, with that said, that will wrap up this video. For real this time. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like down below. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments. I hope this video has earned your subscription, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Shadows whisper